What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 20 of the Ohio Sports Radio Show. It is Jared and Ian back again, ready to talk to you guys. It is Friday, October 7th. Ian, we are currently in the best month of sports right now. This is the only month of the year that all four major sports, baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, will all be going on at the same time. Absolutely awesome sports month. Ian, I'm ready to talk about sports. I know you are. Let's get into it. For those of you who may be new to our show, we start each episode off with our best and worst of this past week of sports. Ian, let's hear your best and worst, brother.
Jared, you kind of alluded to it in talking about the month of October. Baseball, Major League Baseball playoffs are back. Some of the best baseball we'll see all year. These playoff matchups are going to be phenomenal. My worst of the week, sticking with MLB playoffs, the Orioles and Blue Jays game the other night. How does one of the best pitchers of 2016 not even get in that game? The best closer statistically in the game, Zach Britton, doesn't even walk out into the field for the Orioles, left just sitting on the pine as his team loses late in the game. It's do or die, go home. You don't hold your closer off for a safe situation. You don't play lefty versus lefty, righty versus lefty. You put the best player in. So that's my best and worst of this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, the MLB playoffs, in baseball especially, there's no more night and day difference. I love regular season baseball, but postseason baseball is amazing. I mean, every night it's incredible, and especially this year seems to be more ramped up to me. I think it's because the pitching matchups are just incredible. Thursday night, you had Syndergaard versus Bumgarner, which was an absolute duel. One of the best pitching performances from both players that I've seen in a long time. You got Scherzer, Kershaw coming up, Kershaw. You got Scherzer and Kershaw coming up. That's going to be awesome. Arrieta versus
Cueto.
Yeah, Cueto. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be incredible. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you got the Indians Red Sox series. I mean, just tons of great pitching matchups already. And postseason baseball is fantastic. But my best of this past weekend, I finally won a game in our fantasy league, and I beat no other than Ian Harold right there. Harambe's Heroes got upset by NF Hale. So feels good to be back in the win column. I'm the defending champ, so didn't feel good to start the season 0-3, but glad to get my first win. I'm glad it was over Ian. My worst of the week. Now, speaking of fantasy, I have Odell Beckham Jr. on my fantasy team in my pay league. He has done absolutely dick for me so far this season. Odell Beckham, he's been in the news a lot lately, and it's real negative for his attitude and how easy it is to get into his head and get him distracted and out of a game. He said he's not happy. He's not having fun playing football anymore. Now, what he needs to realize is that he is hands down one of the best receivers that league has. He is one of the best players in the NFL, not just receivers. He is a phenomenal talent. There's no doubting that. He's just got to realize that he can't let these guys get into his head just by saying simple little things to him. So I really hate to see that because I really like him, and I was really stoked that I got him on my fantasy team so early, and I hope that he can turn it around. But I'm not a fan of seeing OBJ in the negative spotlight. But moving on, let's go on to top five. This is where we talk about something that is that typically coincides with something in modern pop culture. However, since this is our big number 20 episode of the Ohio Sports Radio Show, we're going to do our top five favorite number 20s. So, Ian, I'm going to let you lead it off. Number 5 on your list of top 5 favorite number 20s.
Number 5 for me, my only athlete to make the list, number 20 for the Detroit Lions. Running back, Barry Sanders. The guy was an absolute beast. Many believe that he left the game too soon. He was on several just terrible Lions teams. You kind of compare that to, maybe Calvin Johnson too. Calvin leaving the Lions early after a lot of letdowns. But Barry Sanders comes in number 5 for me on my top 5 number 20s.
not comparable just yet because Barry Sanders had such a great career, and it's a completely different sport. But Mike Trout has 12 postseason at bats. The Angels spend all that money; they can't get that guy into the playoffs. I think he's the best player in the major leagues personally. But Barry Sanders, great number 20, legendary. Number 5 for me on my list of top 5 favorite number 20s, Mr. Elvis Peacock. And the only reason Elvis is on my list is he was the Bengals, number 20 for the Bengals in 1981. Just absolutely the best name ever. Elvis Peacock, number 5 on my list of top 5 favorite number 20s. Let's move on. Ian, number 4 for you on this list.
Number 4 for me. I'm going all 4 of the 20s that Abe Lincoln dropped in his Gettysburg Address, also known as Scores. How could you forget that? Just amazing speech. I wasn't there, probably had some ancestors there, but number 4 for me, all 4 scores that Abe Lincoln gave in his Gettysburg Address.
That's a good one. I'll give you credit for that. Abe Lincoln, the best president ever. Moving on my list, number 4, I got the glove, Gary Payton, simply because, not for his play on the court, great basketball player, but simply because of those ugly-ass shoes that he had. Do you remember those where you zipped them up and it actually was a glove covering your shoes? Wanted them so bad growing up. My parents would never buy them for me. I look back at it now. I'm like, probably a good career move by my parents to not buy me those. But, Gary Payton, the glove, shoes, number 20 on the court, number 20 on your feet. Gary Payton coming in on my list at 4th on our top 5 list of favorite number 20s. Ian, moving on, number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me, episode 20 of season 5 of The Office. This is where Michael Scott finally stands up to David Wallace and quits after the introduction of Charles Miner. Miner barely knew her.
Ian, you have no idea how far I can fly. That is what Michael says to David Wallace in his office. Absolutely great episode, great show. Number 3 for me on my list. I stuck with more athletes. I had Frank Robinson, one of the best Reds ever. Was traded away foolishly. Absolutely, the old pictures of him in the cutoff shirt, phenomenal. My father-in-law's favorite Red of all time, so I had to throw him on the list. Number 3 for me on my list of top 5 favorite number 20s, Frank Robinson. Moving on, Ian, number 2 for you on this list.
Number 2 for me. This has saved me from a lot of potential bad dates, allowed me to dodge quite a few bullets, but playing 20 questions when you meet somebody, I love that game. It's saved me quite the headache with the ladies. So coming in number 2, 20 questions.
Great game. I remember playing that with my now fiance, and look where we are now. So single fellas out there listening to the show, next time a girl texts you, little icebreaker, play a little 20 questions. You never know where it may go. You may have a podcast to talk about it on later in life. But number 2 for me on this list, you mentioned him earlier, Ian, Barry Sanders. He has to be on this list. Greatest running back ever, the best Tecmo Super Bowl runner ever outside of Bo Jackson. Barry Sanders was phenomenal. Sucked that he had to retire so early, but it is what it is. He was fantastic to watch, and the old highlights of him still hold up. They're still phenomenal. So Barry Sanders comes in at number 2 for me on my list of top 5 favorite number 20s. Let's round this out. Number 1, Ian, on your list of top 5 favorite number 20s. Let's hear it.
Number 1, I'm going back to television, my favorite show of all time. Episode 20, season 4 of Seinfeld. That's where we're introduced to the Junior Mint, the iconic episode where Kramer and Jerry are watching his surgery being performed, and Kramer offers Jerry the Junior Mints.
Oh,
and
God.
Jerry just does not want anything to do with it and pushes them away, and there goes the Junior Mint over the railing into the guy's stomach.
Hilarious. One of the best scenes in the history of television. That show was so good, man. I mean, you can name a million scenes of that show that are just laugh out loud funny. But number 1 for me on my list in a landslide victory, and I can't believe you didn't mention it, the 20th president of the United States, Mr. James Garfield, who was also from the great state of Ohio. So, got to respect the United States. God bless the USA. James Garfield, number 1 on my list. Number 20, the 20th president, number 1 on my list of top 5 favorite number 20s, and that's our list. So send us your top 5 favorite number 20s. You can send them to our Facebook. Make sure you like us on Facebook at Ohio Sports Radio, or tweet them at us at on Twitter at Ohio Sports Radio. So let's move on. Like Ian mentioned earlier, playoff baseball is in full swing, and the only team in the state of Ohio that is still repping is the Cleveland Indians. Now, we do a good job of neglecting the Indians on this podcast, and simply because we're both Reds fans, and everyone else who comes on here is basically a Reds fan. We had a couple Indian writers for a while. Things didn't work out, but if you're an Indians writer or fan, please let us know, because we would love to add you to the team and add your insight. But the Indians are playing. I'm going to be watching. Ian, I know you will as well. They'll face the Boston Red Sox in the ALDS. So going to be a good one. We're recording this on Thursday. You'll hear it on Friday. So that game's about to start. Trevor Bauer's taking the mound for the Indians in Game 1. It's going to be awesome. Indians have home field in that series. So, it's a crazy series. You got Big Poppy's final final season. He's been playing lights out, but I think Boston's a favorite. There goes my dog shaking. I knew that was going to happen. Boston's got to be the favorite in this series, just because I think, there's people are going to point to their starting rotation and everything. Ian, you got David Price in that starting rotation. Rick Porcello is in that starting rotation. But if you really look at it and analyze it, the Indians match up really, really well with them. The top two of that Boston Red Sox rotation are good, but Clay Buchholz is not good. He was 8-10 on the year. He's had a 4.78 ERA, I think. He's pitching in Game 3. Eduardo Rodriguez pitching Game 4, he was 3-7 with a 4.71 ERA. You look at top to bottom of that Indians rotation, you have Bauer taking the mound in Game 1, Corey Kluber, Tomlin, Clevenger, Salazar. They have a good starting rotation.
A really good starting rotation. That's what this team was, I would say probably known for going into the season. There was a lot of question marks. A lot of people did not pick the Indians to do this well. I myself, if we go back, if we want to be honest and look at predictions at the beginning of the season, I had the Indians finishing last, and that's not a slight. It's not like baseball where I'm a Browns fan and I don't like the Bengals. I root for the Indians. That they're my AL team. We're just diehard Reds fans here on this show. But, going into the season, I did not expect this, especially with Michael Brantley. Entering 2016 with so many question marks, with his injuries carrying over from the offseason. He was going to miss some substantial time. There was just a lot of question marks, a lot of holes, but the only thing that seemed to be consistent was going to be the pitching, and we knew that was going to be there. It's a shame that Carlos Carrasco is not going to be able to pitch. He's out with an injury. His season's done. Salazar is also coming off an injury. They're hoping they don't have to rely on him to start a game. They're talking about maybe using him as a relief pitcher in a game if it gets out of hand. But their offense, I don't think anybody saw this offense. You got rookies like Tyler Naquin, who just came out and was an absolute stud this year. Jose Ramirez, their little utility guy that can play anywhere, led the team in hitting. I think he hit like 320 something if I'm not mistaken. But you got guys like Lindor and Kipnis up the middle. Party at Napoli's. Who would have thought Mike Napoli would still put up the numbers he's putting up? Yan Gomes just came back. This team is built to go up against these Red Sox toe-to-toe. And really, I think these Indians got a shot to do something special this October into early November. I think they match up well with just about any team in these playoffs. They've got the depth.
And here's the thing. The Indians finished the season 94-67. 6 games away from 100 wins. If the Cubs don't have the season that they have, people are probably talking about the Indians. You know what I mean? The Cubs overshadowed everybody this year just because of how great that team is. But I think the Indians match up well against not only the Red Sox, also the Cubs. If you want to look at it this way, you got Bauer on the mound tonight, Thursday. And if the Indians were to win this game tonight, Then they only need to win 2 out of the next, or 2 out of 4, and they got Kluber available in 2 of those games. And they get 2 more games at Progressive Field. So that's a pretty good position to win if they can win tonight. And I'm not going to say that he's a bad player, but David Price is 2-7 in the postseason with a 5.12 ERA. I'm just saying. So
people forget that.
People forget that, and also let's not talk about Cleveland being kind of a walkover here. The Indians did rank second in the AL in runs this year, and also in ERA. So they're not a shabby team. They deserve to be in the spot they're in. They're a good team, and I'm rooting for the Indians to win it all. I mean, I'd like to see Cleveland get another championship and Ohio get another championship. But let's move on. Let's talk a little football, a little housekeeping with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, last Saturday, the Buckeyes beat Rutgers. Beat is an understatement. 58-0. Now, I told you last week I'd take the Buckeyes to cover the spread. They did absolutely that. I think the spread was 38 in that game. So 58-0. Buckeyes beat Rutgers. Big news from that game, quarterback J.T. Barrett. He broke the school record for career passing yards. So congrats to Mr. Barrett. I think he put his name solely in the conversation for the Heisman this year. Lamar Jackson's going to be tough to beat for that. But Barrett's name is definitely in the mix now. He finished the game 21 of 29 for 238 yards and 4 touchdowns. Mike Weber also had a great game, 14 carries for 144 yards and a touchdown. And Curtis Samuel, another great game from him, 7 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown. The Buckeyes' next game will be at home against Indiana. They open up that game as a 29-point favorite. I'm going to take the Buckeyes to cover that as well, so I may get in a little action on that. But, yeah, the Buckeyes look good. They look dominant, stayed at number 2. So I think a lot of Scott Van Pelt said he thinks they're the best team in the country. I think a lot of people are starting to see that defense. Luke Fickell has that defense playing lights out. I know they haven't really played anybody outside of Oklahoma, but still they've been dominant. Ian, you got anything to add on the Buckeyes?
No, just to echo what you said on that defense. They look scary good. Like we joke about the whole Oklahoma thing with, the backup quarterback calling them out and saying they were basic. I would put this Ohio State defense up there with some of the best ones that we've seen recently, as far as, or as long as we've been alive at least. I mean, this defense looks terrific. I put them up against any of the top teams in the country because I think that Fickell's got them in the right mindset. You see a lot of guys out there that are just so determined, and you got guys that, when they zoom in on these guys, they're focused. And I haven't seen that in a lot of Ohio State defenses in the past. It seems like there's a real calmness to everybody on that field. Everybody knows their job, and that defense is a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they're going to have some tougher tests. They got Wisconsin coming up. You got Michigan State and Michigan on the schedule. So they do have some tough tests this year. Those will come. But right now the Buckeyes look good, and hopefully they can continue it this Saturday against Indiana. So let's move on to the NFL. My Cincinnati Bengals, they won on Thursday, stomped the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Not much else is coming out. Not much else has happened. But some big news actually broke on Wednesday. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that Bengals tight end Tyler Eifert suffered an injury in practice. He initially reported that it was a setback to Eifert's surgically repaired ankle. Later came out that Schefter was wrong about that. That Eifert actually suffered a minor back injury in practice. The team evaluated him, said they're probably not going to play him this Sunday against the Cowboys in Dallas. Probably a good thing. I will tell you that that's an absolute bullet dodged. When I saw that, I almost cried. I was working, and I was absolutely just so upset because the Bengals need Eifert back badly. They're struggling in the red zone. I've written about it many times. I know a lot of you Bengals fans are chirping me about it. Some of you calling Mr. Tyler Eifert made of glass, calling him saying Bengals need to move on, blah, 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 blah. Typical Cincinnati overreacting, in my opinion. Ian, outsider looking in, do you think Eifert is too injury prone? Now, he has had a lot of injuries in his short career. Is he worth the trouble? Do you think the Bengals should move on and look for a better suited tight end.
Well, let me ask you this. To anybody that says that about Tyler Eifert, I'm pretty sure there's a tight end named Gronk that's been hurt a lot over the last 4 years. So if we were to ask Bill Belichick, are you ready to give up on this guy and just, go in a different direction with the tight end position, I'm pretty sure you get a classic Belichick answer, and you would lose your press credentials. So while, yeah, I can understand that it is a struggle and it's a disappointment when Eifert's hurt and it's a letdown, but this kid is a treasure to have on your team. And when he's back, you'll see just how much he means to this team. It irritates me with some of the fans of this team because it's like, okay, you guys forget what you have. Like, yeah, okay, it's disappointing that he's hurt, but when he comes back and he starts doing what he's best known to do, you're going to realize, like, oh, crap, what really would happen if we got rid of this guy? So, no, I made a glass comments. That's for guys like RG3. It's not for guys like Tyler Eifert. It's not for guys like Gronk. Everybody gets banged up. It's a game of football. It's a contact sport. Give the guy a little leeway. He'll be back. Just got to be cautious. Got to be patient. He'll be back, and when he does come back, that Bengals red zone offense is going to be the tops in the league.
And let me put it this way: when Eifert's healthy, do you roll the dice? Okay, so if they were in a crazy, insane world to release Eifert, he wouldn't last a day on waivers. He would be picked up immediately because when he's healthy, he's a top 2 tight end in the league. And you take that chance 100% of the time. I was talking to somebody about this on Facebook. They said, yeah, but do you need a tight end that's healthy? We have a healthy tight end right now. Yeah, he's not Tyler Eifert because Tyler Eifert is an elite tight end. So when he's healthy, you want him on the field. You take that risk 100% of the times. Like Ian said, Gronk has had a injury-riddled career for, how good he is. We saw a glimpse of how good Tyler Eifert could be. If he could stay on the field, he's one of the best tight ends in the league. And I'll roll the dice. I'm a gambling man. I'll roll the dice on that 100% of the time because he is that good of a player. And that is classic Cincinnati sports fandom at its finest to say the Bengals need to move on from one of the best tight ends in the league because they do the same shit with Andy Dalton week in and week out. Andy Dalton throws a couple bad passes. Oh, we got to bring in McCarron. It's time to take out our quarterback who's taken us to 5 straight playoff appearances and bring in a AJ McCarron who had 4 good games. I'm sick of it. They believe in this team, believe in the players, believe in the coaching staff because that's who we have at the moment. There's no one else out there for us right now. Stick with this team. I'm tired of it. But yeah, bullet dodge with Tyler Eifert because if it was his ankle, I'd be probably in tears right now doing this podcast. But hopefully he can get healthy. Tyler, if you need any appendages, if you need a new ankle replacement, you can have my ankle. I will gladly give it up if you help guide us to a Super Bowl. But next game on the card for the Bengals is at Dallas. Bengals open up as a 1-point favorite, so it's essentially a pick 'em. It's going to be a tough game. We'll get into our picks later on in the show. Ian, let's move on. Let's talk about your Cleveland Browns. Tough game, another tough loss for the Browns. On Sunday, they lost to the Redskins 31-20. We were texting. I actually got to watch the Browns, so I actually was it was a great game, too. For a while, it kind of got out of hand at the end. But I was interested in watching that team. And I tell you, as an outsider looking in, Hugh Jackson is doing a lot of things right in that organization. And we'll get to that in a minute. So put a pin on that for right now. But Cody Kessler looked good. He was 28 of 40, 223 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. I tell you one thing, breakout player, Isaiah Correll. I know you've talked about him last year. Browns fans believed that he could be a good running back. But I think it doesn't matter who plays in Cleveland. Everybody's going to be like, well, it's Cleveland, until you guys can break that image. But Isaiah Correll is a beast. He had 16 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown. And Gary Barnidge, 7 receptions for 57 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but he's always a threat. As an outsider looking in, I thought the Browns looked good. I thought they had a chance to win the game. There was that weird fumble call that wasn't a fumble. I mean, tons of weird stuff, but it was a great game. As a Bengals fan, getting to finally watch the Browns for once this year.
Yeah, I mean, game opened up like it typically does for the Browns every week. A slow start. The offense drives the offense of the opposing team drives right down the field. Our defense can't stop them one lick, and they'll score a touchdown. Takes a little too long to get things going on offense, but once the offense started moving on Sunday, they were doing well. You talked about Kessler's day, 28 of 40 for 223. Kessler, I've said it time and time and again, what he lacks in big arm, he makes up for it in his accuracy. He cuts you up down the middle of the field, short slant passes to his guys. That was evident with how many times he went to Barnage. He went to Pryor a lot early in the first half. Pryor absolutely dominated Josh Norman in the first half. But the difference between those two, Josh Norman made the adjustments that he needed to make at halftime. Pryor kept going with the same stuff. Pryor got shut down in the second half. You talked about Isaiah Crowell. Feed the crow. This is a guy that, I'm not putting him in the same class as Ezekiel Elliott, but we talked about Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State last year. And we talked about how, some of these games he was getting 13, 14, 15 carries. And we said, you feed Ezekiel Elliott the damn ball 30 times a game. That's what you do. The Browns need to get Crowell's handoffs up. This 16 carries, 15, 14 carries per game, this isn't working. 16 carries, 120 yards. Give him the ball at least 10 more times. He needs to be in that 25 to 30 range. He's a workhorse. He's a hard running back. I mean, he will plow right through you. He's not injury prone. He doesn't have a lot of mileage on those legs. He blasts right through the line, and he finds the hole very well. Duke Johnson, I mean, that's another guy that you can bring in to complement him well. He had 8 carries, 45 yards.
So
Duke's
speaking of him, from what I noticed, just as a football fan, Crowell, like you said, they got to get that guy 25 to 30 touches a game. He is such a dominant north-south runner, and that's Jeremy Hill could learn something from Isaiah Crowell. Jeremy Hill bounces behind the line too much. Crowell hits the hole. He goes, and he bounced off tackles. I mean, he was getting like 15 yards after contact. So Crowell looked like a beast. Duke Johnson, not as good, but he's that back that Crowell can get a breather. And you can get him 10 to 15 carries, maybe 10, 12 carries, something like that. But Crowell has to see more touches. He has to, because the Browns can't rely on Kessler to beat you. Eventually, if you can't go downfield, which is what hurt the Browns at the end of the game, Hugh was running the ball down the Redskins' throat. And when they got down big, you got to go downfield. You got to try to get points through the air. You got to get big chunks of yardage. You can't run the football anymore. That took away your guys' game. That was the end of the game. But Kessler can't go downfield. Eventually, teams are just going to sit and bump and run coverage, and they're going to make you beat them deep. And he doesn't have the deep ball arm to do that, like you said earlier.
No, he doesn't. That's one thing of concern because that's something that I've thought about as well, Jared. Once there's a lot of footage, once there's more footage on him, teams are going to adapt. This is the pros, so teams are going to start pressing that coverage up a little bit more, and he's either going to have to make pin and needle passes to these wide receivers, or he's going to have to try and go deep. Rookie Ricardo Lewis, wide receiver, he's been getting a little more involved with the offense. Kessler actually tried to go deep to him a couple times, and it about worked out a couple times, but that's still early. It's toying with the playbook a little bit. Jamar Taylor on defensive back, another interception this week. Proves to be a solid get by this front office. Came from the Dolphins. And a great bounce back week, if there was one, for Cody Parkey. The kicker that we signed on short notice the week before, who missed 3 field goals. This week he goes 2 of 2 for field goals, including a 51-yarder. Both field goals, all his extra points, right down the middle. So a big bounce back week for him. But the name of the game was turnovers there, and we turned the ball over 3 times in the second half. It was just killer. The fumble that wasn't a fumble, Duke Johnson standing with the ball, and the referees trying to break through the scrum of players on the ground and then pointing in the direction of the Redskins possession arrow, and it's like, well, here's our running back holding the ball. He's not in the scrum.
That was so bizarre.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say it's so Cleveland that it hurts. It would only happen to us.
Well, welcome to the conspiracy, because the Bengals fans have been in it, and Browns fans mocked us. I saw a couple Browns fans on Facebook, on our Facebook post, mocking us, saying, "Oh yeah, Bengals. I guess the ref said that was a bad call too. If you're going to blame this game on the refs." But welcome to the conspiracy, Browns fans, because the NFL. I'm not saying that they're out to beat teams, but I think they play favorites, the Patriots, even though the whole Deflategate shit. They will protect the Steelers, obviously. I think they protect the Patriots a little bit. They'll protect Brady for sure. The refs will, at least. It's a little weird because that wasn't a fumble. Both times the Bengals' knees were down. Those weren't fumbles. I thought the playoff game was a little weird. So welcome to the conspiracy, Ian.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was, watching the game live, so I was sitting there, and all of a sudden Duke pops back up, and I'm kind of pissed because I'm like, man, running back, not even trying to get in there and try and steal that ball away. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that the ball? And then, I rewound it, and I'm like, he's got the ball. What are they doing? It's just it's terrible.
I think the main cause of it is they don't have full-time referees. These referees in the off season are like accountants and like school bus drivers and shit. Like they have to have full-time referees that know the rule book top to bottom. I mean, that was just a weird play. I mean, and then what's replay for? If you can go, why can't they go back and look at that? I mean, if they do look at it and everyone on the TV at home can see that it is a fumble, they need to have like the NHL. The NHL has, if there is a call on the ice that wants to be, or that a coach wants to review, it goes to a booth. The refs just have a headset on, and it goes to a booth. They showed the TV or showed on the TV. It goes to not a booth. It goes to like New York. There's a whole
like baseball.
Yeah, it's like a panel, and they're watching. That's their job, is to review plays, and they send it right down to the ref. Like, no, that wasn't a fumble. Like, give him the ball, put it here, put this much time back on the clock. NHL gets it right. Baseball, I don't know. Baseball reviews take forever for me. But I think if you watch the NHL, which I'm a huge NHL guy, they get it right. So, yeah, I don't know. If the NFL could go to something like that, it'd be cool. But I don't know. I'm just not a Goodell fan, or as Adam Pac-Man Jones says, Commissioner Gardell. So, yeah, not a fan of that. But welcome to the conspiracy, brother. But let's go ahead. Let's move on to our OSR mailbag. We only got a few questions this week because we're trying to save a little bit of time. So we're going to try to narrow it down a little bit. I'm going to pick a couple here. First question from Jake Parrish. He wants to know, in the AFC, you have Pittsburgh, who's dominant on offense. You have Denver, who is excelling in smash mouth football. And New England is always going to be New England. I don't see an area that the Bengals have that stops and makes me think, wow, sort of going through the motions thus far. My eyes feel like, or my eyes tell me that they don't look anywhere near being a playoff team, much less a contender. He said he just has a blah feeling about the Bengals. Is he being overly pessimistic, or is there a real cause for concern? Ian, outsider looking in, what do you think?
Outsider looking in, you've said it several times, Jared. It takes 4 to 5 weeks to really see a team in full gear with everything. You guys got a new offensive guy calling the plays. This team is going to be fine, especially when they get Eifert back. They're going to be a whole new force in the red zone. I mean, you're going to add so much more to your playbook. For you to say that you don't really see something that the Bengals excel in, I'd say defense. That defensive line is not fun to go up against. Geno Atkins, everybody. That defense is not a fun defense to play. Mike Zimmer got them to where they're at. They've been able to sustain where they're at. And, I would take that and run with it for defenses. Offenses wins games, but the defense wins you the Super Bowl. So they've got the defense. They need the offense now to win everything else.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, Pittsburgh didn't really impress me when we played them. I thought we should have beat them. We kept Antonio Brown in check. They beat the Chiefs, but I don't think the Chiefs are that good. They haven't been that good offensively for a long time, the Chiefs, that is. So I think that Pittsburgh at home on primetime football, Ian, you alluded to it when we were texting throughout the week. They're so tough to beat in primetime football. But you saw what the Eagles did to them. The Eagles blanked them. I don't think the Steelers secondary is that good, but the Chiefs made them look fantastic. The Ravens, I don't think the Ravens are that good. I don't really think they've played anybody. The Ravens don't have a run game to me. Flacco's got a big arm, but he's thrown to Steve Smith. So you shut down Steve Smith. I don't think it's the Ravens defense of old with like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. They don't really impress me. And the Browns are scrappy. The Browns, I heard somebody say it great. They're like the best sparring partner in the world because they're going to give you a good fight, but they're not going to win the fight typically. So I think the Browns, like I said, if you guys give Hugh time, the Browns will be a team that will be a force in the NFL. But as of right now, they're the Browns still. So I still think the Bengals are the best team in the AFC North. Denver, they're relying on Paxton Lynch. We don't know how long Trevor Simeon's out. But the thing with Denver is defense travels. Like Ian alluded to with the Bengals, defense travels. The Bengals' defensive line is one of the best in the league. I'm not worried, Jake. So I'm sticking with the Bengals. I'm sticking by them. I think they got a great team. And I'm not worried at all, man. I'm really not. And I don't think you should be either. But next question comes from Ricky Barker via our Facebook page. Ricky wants to know, what are our expectations for the Bengals and the Browns in the second quarter of the season? Ian, I'll let you lead off. What are your expectations for the Browns in the second quarter of the season?
I know the schedule doesn't get any easier. For me, I just want to see growth. And that can be statistics through watching this stuff. I want to see Kessler continue to do well. I think once McCown's ready to come back, McCown's going to get the nod there, but he is fragile. He's, talking about that made a glass comment, but that McCown's like that because he's old. But, I want to see how this offense takes shape. I know Hugh's a quarterback guy, but are we going to pound the ball more with Crowell? Can we get the defense to come out of the coin toss and, just knock people straight in the mouth? Because our defense doesn't start to kick on and play until the second quarter. It's a big learning curve. I originally picked the Browns to win one game this year. Since, when I did my Browns preview for the website, I said 4 to 5 games. It's a toss-up. I think this team's going to surprise you and beat teams that they shouldn't beat. And then I think, games like where they should have beaten the Dolphins and they should have beaten the Redskins, they're going to get beat. So I don't know. I think they'll have a few surprising wins here and there, but it's all about growth right now. This is a rebuild. These are a lot of young guys. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's actually valuable time for Cody Kessler too. I mean, you guys weren't going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't think anyone believed RG3 would make it to the end of the year. If you did, you're naive. McCown is a good quarterback to learn from. Journeyman, he's been around. I think it's good experience for Kessler. I mean, I think the Browns will probably take a quarterback in this next draft, but that's down the line. I know it's hard to believe, but there's a lot of good quarterbacks right now in college football. So it would kind of be foolish not to, especially when you see the way Carson Wentz is playing. Seems like you guys may have missed out on him. It's early. I think we're jumping on the Carson Wentz bandwagon a little early. I mean, the only good team they beat so far is the Steelers, but he is playing good football. He does look good. I don't think it was a bad move by the Browns per se, because you guys got a lot of valuable pieces for the future moving forward. We talked about it in private. It wouldn't matter if you guys had a quarterback like Wentz. Who would he throw to? Who would run the ball? Who would block for him? Who would get him the ball back on defense? The Browns had so many needs that they almost had no needs. I mean, it's crazy. So, yeah, I think trust in Hugh. Let the team see how they grow. I think, like I said, I think it's good experience for Cody Kessler. So I agree with everything you said, though, Ian. But my expectations for the next quarter of the Bengals season, they got a couple tough games. They got New England at New England. That's Brady's first game back in Foxborough. That's going to be a tough one. Dallas this weekend is going to be a tough one. And then they got the Browns and Redskins. I think they should win 3 of those, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 4, but I think they should win 3. I don't know. I'm not worried about the Bengals, man. I think if they can get out with 3, I think we're right back to where we want to be. I think even 2, we're right there. So it's kind of a toss-up this year in the NFL. I mean, the teams right now, if you ask me, the teams I guarantee could win a Super Bowl right now, I would say New England, because they're New England. We still don't know if Brady's going to be shaky. I don't think he will be, but they're New England. They got the best coach ever on their sideline. I think Denver, because of their defense. And I would say maybe I'm not going to throw the Bengals on there, but they're probably that next tier for me. I would say New England, Denver, maybe the Packers. And I don't even think the Packers look that good. So I think it's a toss-up in the NFL this year, honestly. I really do. But I'm not worried, Ricky. Like I said, like I answered Jake's question, I think the Bengals got a good team, and I'm not really worried, man. But that's our expectations. Thank you guys for the questions. We're going to keep it short with the questions this week and just go ahead and get to our next segment, which is everybody's favorite segment, Ian, and that is our NFL Picks of the Week. Oh, Lord, my phone's acting up again, Ian. But let's get into it. Thursday Night Football. It's actually on right now. The game just started. The Arizona Cardinals, 1-3 Arizona Cardinals, without Carson Palmer, who is out with a concussion, are on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers and Chip Kelly. Ian, who you got in this one?
Drew Stanton playing quarterback for my Cardinals tonight. In the event he goes down, Miami Redhawk Zach Dysert is backing him up. Guy broke Ben Roethlisberger's career passing record there. A lot of people forget that. I'm going Cardinals tonight.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. I really am. I think Carlos Hyde's going to run the ball down their throat. I really have no idea what's wrong with the Cardinals, but Stanton is not good. So I'm going to take the 49ers in an upset in this one. Moving on, Sunday, 1 o'clock, Tom Brady is free from Deflategate. His first game back, unfortunately, it's against your Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Ian, who do you have in this one?
Hold on to your butts. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns to shock the world.
Oh, Lord, that is an upset. I 100% disagree. The Patriots by 20. Next game on the card, we have the Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz on the road taking on Matthew Stafford in the Detroit Lions. Ian, who do you have in this one?
I think the Eagles get it done and stay perfect. I'm going to Philly.
Yeah, I've picked the Lions a couple weeks, and they always upset me. Matt Stafford, screw you for losing me my fantasy game last week. I'm taking the Eagles in this one. Next game on the card, we have the Chicago Bears on the road taking on Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. Ian, who do you have in this one?
This is just a bad game. The Colts don't look very good this year. The Bears look horrendous. If I had to pick a winner of this game, and I'm sorry that people have to watch this game, I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Andrew Luck, I always said that he's kind of overrated, but no, that offensive line is the worst offensive line in the history of the NFL. But I'm taking the Bears in this one to upset the Colts in Indy. What? Next game on the card, we have the Tennessee Titans and Marcus Mariota on the road taking on Ryan Tannehill's Have Eyes and the Miami Dolphins. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
I'm going with the Dolphins at home. Titans have yet to impress me.
Titans are trash, but I guarantee that DeMarco Murray gets in the end zone. I still think they lose. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins in this one. Next game on the card, we have the Washington Redskins on the road taking on Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens. Ian, who do you have in this one?
Fuck you, Art Modell, but I'm still taking the Ravens this week.
Screw the Ravens forever, for eternity. I'm taking the Washington Redskins in this one. Next game on the card, we have the Rocket Ship and the Houston Texans on the road taking on Mike Zimmer's 4-0 Minnesota Vikings. Ian, who do you have in this one?
Next week, you will say Mike Zimmer and the 5-0 Vikings. I'm going with Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you people that Vikings defense is for real. Mike Zimmer's your coach of the year. I'm taking the Vikings to stay perfect in this one. Next game on the card, we have the New York Jets on the road taking on Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ian, who do you have in this one?
I got the Steelers in this one.
Steelers are always tough to beat at home. I'm taking the Steelers, and Fitzpatrick hopefully doesn't throw another 6 picks, but I'm taking the Steelers in this one. Next game on the card, we have the 3-1 Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the undefeated Denver Broncos and Paxton Lynch, who will be starting that game. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
Low-key, probably one of the best cards, or probably one of the best games on the card this week. I'm going Broncos in a shootout.
It's going to be a good one. I just think that defense is going to get to Matt Ryan, and I'm going to take the Broncos in this one at home. People forget that the air is thin in Denver, so I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. Next game on the card, my Cincinnati Bengals on the road taking on Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott in Jerry's world. Ian, who do you have in this one?
I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. I think the defenses are going to take control of this one. It's a tough one. I'm going Cowboys.
I don't care who they're playing, Ian. I don't care. I don't care if they're playing the 1986 Chicago Bears. I am taking my Cincinnati Bengals in this one. I think Dak Prescott throws his first interception of the season against my Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals on the road to beat the Cowboys. Next game on the card, we have Sexy Rexy and Fat Rob, Slob Rob. That's it. Sexy Rexy and Slob Rob and the Buffalo Bills on the road to take on Mr. 500 and Jeff Fisher and the LA Rams. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
I'm taking the Rams, and I don't know why. They're 3-1, and they've been outscored by 13 points this year. I'm going to the Rams. 500 will come later in the year. I don't know what the hell this is.
Jeff Fisher's in uncharted territory because if he wins this one, his job, he's going to get a 20-year contract extension in L.A., and he's going to do exactly that. Sexy Rexy and Slob Rob don't have the answers for that Rams defense. I'm taking L.A. to go 4-1. Next game on the card, we have the San Diego Chargers, who seem to not want to win a game, on the road taking on the Oakland Raiders. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
I'm taking the Raiders.
Derek Carr has been outstanding to start his career. Phillip Rivers has had a great start to the season. I'm taking the Raiders in the black hole, some of the craziest fans in football. I'm taking the Raiders to push the Chargers to 1-4. Oakland wins this one. Next game on the card, we have Sunday Night Football. The New York Football Giants and Odell Beckham Jr. on the road, taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Go Pack Go at Lambeau Field. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
Well, if Odell Beckham is not enjoying football now, he's not going to be enjoying it next week either. I got the Packers winning.
Ooh, that was a good one. I'm going to take they were my Super Bowl picks, so I got to take them. Mr. Aaron Rodgers, my fantasy quarterback, to come out. Hopefully he throws 29 touchdowns and the Packers cruise to a landslide victory. I said we would see a lot of Eli face last week. I think we see a lot of Eli face again this week. Packers beat the Giants on Sunday Night Football. In the last game on the card, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jameis Winston on the road taking on the 1-3. Yes, I said 1-3 Carolina Panthers. Ian, who are you taking in this one?
Panthers figured out Buccaneers have been playing like garbage. They've got a lot of animosity between players. I'm taking the Panthers and Cam to figure it out this week.
If Cam plays, this is the landslide victory, but he is coming off a concussion, so who knows what happens. Still, defense travels. I'm taking the Panthers. I guess they're at home, so it doesn't really travel. But you get the gist. I'm taking the Panthers in this one to get back in the win column. So that is our picks. The music won't stop. There it goes. That's our picks for Week 5 of the NFL. Ian, I didn't ask you last time. Can you update us on the standings, actually, through 4 weeks?
Sure can. Last week, Jared, you won the week. You went 9-6. Alex and I both went 7-8. Your record right now stands at 37-26 for the season. Alex is 35-28. I am 25-38.
Very nice.
Nope.
I'm glad to be on top.
Nope. I'm much worse than that. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I've got a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, your guys' records are accurate.
Well, I will tell you that it is it's good to be on top, but there's always room for improvement. I hope to improve this week with my picks. So follow along. Thank you for everyone. If you follow along, if you want to win some money, pick my picks, obviously. So that's our NFL picks of the week. Let's end the show with our bold prediction for this upcoming week of sports. Ian, what is your bold prediction, sir?
My bold prediction is that the Cleveland Browns will spoil Tom Brady's first game of the 2016 NFL season. The Browns will win by 2 scores.
Lord, that is a bold prediction. My bold prediction, Mr. Perfect Dak Prescott will throw not 1, but 2 interceptions in front of Jerry World. My Bengals will come away with the win. That's my bold prediction. I truly believe the Bengals are gonna come through with a win this week. So stop worrying, Bengals fans. Stick by this team. And that's our show. That's episode number 20 of the Ohio Sports Radio Show. 20 shows in already. Thank you to everyone that's been a part of it. If you have not already, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Make sure you rate and review it. Give us a 5-star review on there. We really appreciate it. Really helps us out. If you're an Android user, make sure you check us out on Stitcher and Google Play Music. While you're at it, make sure you like our page on Facebook, Ohio Sports Radio on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Ohio Sports Radio. If you are a writer, you're interested, like I mentioned earlier, we're looking for Indians writers. Anyone, if you're a writer and your favorite team resides in the great state of Ohio, please send us some of your work to ohiosportsradio@gmail.com. To everyone who helps the site go, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Ian, I appreciate all your help. It's been a crazy year. We've grown leaps and bounds, and we have a lot of great surprises coming in the future. You guys are really going to enjoy what we got coming. So thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Really appreciate it. And we will see you next week on the other side with episode number 21 of the Ohio Sports Radio Show. And Ian, who day, Ian? Who day?
We bark together.